Hey guys, Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notifications bell to stay informed. So what I want to do in this video is go over, digest, break down and really get to the bottom of what could possibly happen with these assets that they've mentioned about either destroying the keys or burning the keys. I think it's a really important point because we do have a small amount of Terra native assets that are part of this court's dispute. They have been recognized as TFL owned assets in these court proceedings. So something that has really stood out to me in what Chris Amani has put out is the proposal to burn all of TFL's unvested Luna. So we can see that there's already going to be a substantial burn, but what we don't see in here is the mentioning of what's going to happen with the Terra Classic native assets. And throughout these court proceedings, throughout the past 2 years, TFL have really not been helpful for us, to put it in a polite way. They've created bottlenecks and they've put us in situations where we have to go around begging and pleading with them and really asking for help, so to speak. And the whole situation's not been easy for us as a blockchain. So the least thing that they could do right is do us a solid one on the way out. They're leaving anyway. They have no real future in crypto anymore. Thus the court proceedings, thus not being able to be involved in crypto or get anybody involved in crypto. So for them, they're going anyway. So they should definitely do us the solid one of at least communicating with the blockchain and letting us know what is going to happen with the Terra Classic native assets. So let's take a look at these court documents, and the specific part I want to look at is Section A. The proposed consent decree is proper under the law. So as part of its consent to the proposed judgment, Terraform has agreed to wind down its business as soon as practicable and within 30 days of entry of judgment, to replace both of its non-independent directors, including Chris Amani, the current Terraform CEO who testified at the trial and who was head of operation during Terraform's fraud and collapse. The only disposition of defendants' crypto assets that the judgment permits is those transferred to Terraform's bankruptcy estate pursuant to the terms of the judgment. Otherwise, the judgment requires the defendants to burn or destroy private keys in Terraform's possession to wallets or blockchain assets holding USTC, Mira, Luna Classic, Wrap Luna Classic, and Luna 2.0. So it's important to note here that they're giving TFL one of two options. The first option is to transfer all of those assets to the Terraform bankruptcy estate, which is what the SEC has control over and is going to be used and utilized to make the people that got wrecked during the crash possibly unwrecked or close to being as unwrecked as possible, in effect making holders whole. So now what we need to do is go over and take a look at exactly what we do know finance wise. So in February 2024, the schedule of digital assets that were produced says that they have 15 million USTC, 70k LUNC, and then 84,000 in other assets. These could be anything. So I'm unsure as to what these could possibly be moving forward. Now, with that being said, right, these assets themselves, although they're small, we as a blockchain would prefer to see these burn. I would prefer to see these burn. In the worst case scenario, if they do decide, for example, to just destroy the private keys or burn the private keys and they're gone and lost forever, we can remove those, we can blacklist it, and we can prevent anything happening with those coins again, unless there's a governance proposal to deem otherwise. So it's important to note that we have the upper hand in this situation. We can react to this if it doesn't go the way that we would like it to go, for example. And I think as a blockchain, we're in a position where we can do that now because we have got the short straw when it comes down to these court proceedings, because I don't think the SEC recognize that there's two communities. I think they just see it all as one big bubble and that we're all on the same boat, and we're not. It's two entirely separate boats moving forward. So now what I want to do is talk about the LFG situation. So to ensure the maximum recovery for harmed investors, Quan has also agreed to transfer to the Terraform bankruptcy estate within 30 days all crypto assets of LFG and his ownership interest in all Pyth crypto asset tokens that Quan obtained pursuant to the 2021 token grant. All assets transferred by Quan to the bankruptcy estate are to be distributed to harmed investors. So this is a really important point to take away from this, because it just doesn't look like the SEC are going to be using or utilizing any of these funds to pay litigation fees or to pay court fines or any of these fines as a whole. So it's good to know that these are at least going to be going somewhere decent. But once again, as someone who's invested in this blockchain, a validator, I would rather see the Terra Classic native assets burn. So now let's go over to the LFG reserves. Let's take a look at the situation over here, because there's a whole lot of confusion when it comes down to the LFG. There's nothing really in here that is of substantial effect to us. Now, the ticker here could be wrong. This could mean LUNC. I'm unsure. I would think it was Luna Classic, because LFG was created pre-crash. It was there for the crash. So I wouldn't see the LFG wallet with Luna in it. And it was removed from the airdrop as far as I'm aware. So going off of what I know and kind of assuming without assuming, I would say this is Luna Classic. And there's 222 million in there. So the rest of it is BTC, BNB, UST, and then AVAC. That UST is definitely going to be USTC. I would once again assume the ticker hasn't changed. LFG was created before the crash. The assets put in here would definitely be USTC. So we can see that's 1.85 billion, which is a considerable amount. So let's say, for example, all of this is to go into the bankruptcy estate and it is to go back to holders. I don't think this is the worst case scenario. And this is kind of my point at the moment with the 1.2% burn tax. I think it's important that we do this. And although some people are going to disagree with me and say as an individual they don't want to see that happen, we're about to see 1.85 billion USTC move, 222 million Luna Classic move. And who knows what else DK has on that Trezor, for example. And then what else wasn't included in the Treasury document that was provided by the Delaware court to us. So in itself, right, there's going to be a lot of movement. And as a blockchain, we have a responsibility to adjust and change as we see fit collectively. Obviously, everything comes down to a decentralized decision. But once again, the burning looks like it's going to be heating up regardless, because we still have a burn tax. We do. And I think it's at this point, right, we should really start to expand our minds and expand exactly how we're thinking about the whole narrative moving through the next 6 months of this bull run is really important. And something that the chain has always benefited from is the narrative of burning itself. So for me, this is all really bullish. It's really good. And something that has become quite apparent to me is, I mentioned in my previous video covering the change from the multi-signature wallet to just one individual. And I would assume right now, and this is a big assumption, that the SEC are the people, that individual who's going to be in control of these assets. Once again, it could be wrong. They could be going to a law firm to be handled, to be distributed or whatever. But I would assume this is being prepped for the eventuality of distributing out to the holders that are affected. So this has been a pretty good video. There's so much to go through with these court documents, and there's so much bullish stuff going on in here. I don't think it's as negative as some people think with the LFG situation. In fact, I think it's the total opposite, because we could see, right, and it's not Luna that's going to be distributed, it's going to be USTC. And people might just decide to themselves, well, it's not really worth much anymore. I'll just keep hold of it. And certain people could get big bags of this. It could introduce a scenario where more people get interested and invested in USTC as an idea. I've always been an advocate for a USTC repeg. The issue is we've just been given, to put it in a polite way without upsetting people, there's never been the right agreement set out, circumstances, what's expected from either party, what the end result's going to be. And I guess that's just a failure of going through a learning curve of what we should expect as a community before we agree to stuff. So once again, for me, this is all very good news. And I think everybody should go away with a smile on their face at the moment. They really should. And I think we should make the biggest and best effort we can moving forward to understand that the situation around us is changing. And people in crypto love burning, regardless of us liking burning, regardless of all of the current holders that don't like burning. There's a big portion that does, and I think it's 50-50. But what we need to understand is we're trying to attract people from outside the bubble. And in order to do that, we do need to try different things. We need to tweak things. We need to change the color of the car. We need to put a spoiler on it sometimes and take it in for a service, those kind of things. Really important stuff. If you haven't seen the previous video today going through all of the wallet infrastructure and breaking it down in a way that I feel would be better understandable for a lot of people, do go back and check it. If you haven't seen the previous 2 videos before that one, go back and watch it. This video would probably seem a lot more relevant to you moving forward. But once again, very happy. I hope you guys are happy. Don't forget to go out and touch grass this weekend. It's really important. This whole thing has come to an end at this point. It's just a matter of crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And throughout that process, everything's been priced into the market. The price is holding firm. It's not dumping like you would have thought it would. Anyone would have thought that the whole situation itself would have crashed at this point, but we're just holding firm. And it goes to show that none of us want to leave. Right? But at the same time, we do need to go through the process of attracting new holders. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the notifications bell to stay informed. If you've got LUNC, consider delegating with our validator. It's really going to help. I'm really excited to do the Twitter space today, so don't forget to check into that. It's at 8:30 p.m. UK time. Check the previous video out. Links in the description to it there. Other than that, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.